The Green Party.
The Green Party is
the Green Party.
With the Green Party.
This is the Green Party's moment. And if ever there was a time to join us, that time is now!
In the past few months, it's been evident that the Green Party has been on the rise. From winning the Gorton and Denton by-election in a Labour stronghold seat with a huge majority, to averaging in second place in the opinion polls, how on earth did this once mini party, whom only had one member of Parliament last time round, overtake the Labour Party and the Tory Party in the opinion polls, and become the opposition to Reform UK? Well, first it would be good to understand who actually are the Green Party, what do they believe in, and their history as a party. The Green Party of England and Wales is built around four core principles: ecological sustainability, social justice, grassroots democracy, and non-violence. At the heart of its philosophy is a simple argument: environmental limits should shape economic and political decision-making. Climate policy, in this view, cannot be separated from inequality, public services, or long-term economic reform. The party supports rapid decarbonisation, investment in renewable energy, expanded public transport, and stronger environmental protections. Economically, it advocates redistributive taxation, public ownership of certain utilities, and greater local control over infrastructure. Although widely described as an environmental party, its economic philosophy has long been influenced by democratic socialist thought. From its earliest manifestos, it questioned whether continuous economic growth is compatible with ecological survival. For the Greens, environmental protection has always implied structural economic change, not simply technological fixes. The party began in 1973 under the name People, later becoming the Ecology Party, and eventually adopting its current name. It emerged during a period of rising concern about pollution, nuclear power, and resource depletion. In 1989, it achieves a notable breakthrough in the European elections, winning a significant share of the vote. But the UK's first past-the-post electoral system limited its ability to translate national support into seats in Parliament. For most of its history, the party has remained small at Westminster. It has gained representation in local councils, and at times in the European Parliament, and eventually secured a single seat in the House of Commons. Yet compared with the major parties, its parliamentary presence has been limited. Consistent, but comparatively small. One distinctive feature of the party has been its approach to leadership. Unlike most major UK parties, the Greens have frequently adopted a co-leadership model, often with one male and one female leader. This reflects a commitment to gender balance, shared authority, and decentralised power. Historically, members have argued that this structure aligns with the party's democratic values. However, in a media environment that often focuses on individual personalities, dual leadership can make national branding more complex. In modern politics, recognition is frequently tied to a single figurehead, and having a charismatic central figure head to rally a party around has been demonstrated to be very effective. For example, Donald Trump, being the populist face of the Republican Party in 2016, had a huge impact on their victory.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede.
There are other structural challenges. The electoral system encourages tactical voting, which can disadvantage smaller parties. Most of the working voters don't really think about climate change, and the Greens' economic justice reputation had faded away. And people just saw the Greens as the climate change party. Nothing more, nothing less. This limited the Greens' appeal quite significantly. In recent years, climate justice became a talking point of multiple parties, such as the Liberal Democrats, the Labour Party, so that also took away their unique appeal as a party for many. It was clear that if the Green Party wanted to expand, it needed to reform itself and change its structure, self-image, and its approach. It was clear the Green Party needed to evolve. But evolution is abstract, until something forces it. Carla's departure didn't just create a vacancy at the top, it exposed a question that had been building quietly for years. What exactly is this party? Is it primarily an environmental pressure group with parliamentary representation? Or is it a broader political movement capable of confronting inequality, defending minorities, and challenging the economic system itself? Carla Denya's resignation turned that question into a decision, and the timing could not have been more charged. The Greens were no longer alone in talking about climate change. Meanwhile, Reform UK was rising, a party many Greens perceive as representing a far-right shift in British politics. And yet there wasn't a hardline left-wing pushback to this in the eyes of some of the Greens. They viewed the Labour Party as pandering to the right.
I think we've got a problem in this country where Nigel Farage says jump and Keir Starmer says how high. You're never going to appease the right by slowly moving towards the right. They just get worse and they drag the government with them.
Yet they recognised that they didn't have the popularity or correct image to step up as the opposition. To much of the electorate, the Greens were still seen as the climate party. Important, but limited. Serious, but single issue. That perception, some believed, was holding the party back. When the leadership contest opened, 2 sitting Green MPs entered quickly, them being Adrian Ramsey and Ellie Chowns. Their message was calm and disciplined. The party had made gains. It had built credibility. It had secured representation. Now was the time for steady growth, not dramatic repositioning. They represented continuity. Continue consolidating council seats. Continue building parliamentary influence. Continue projecting institutional maturity. In a first-past-the-post system that punishes smaller parties, caution is logical. Risk can mean regression. In their mind, the way forward was continuity with the current party structure, and that the Greens had to be cautious not to self-implode in the process of punching above their weight. Then Zach Polansky entered the race. Zach Polansky was a hardline Jewish progressive whom had a background in theatre. He believed that with his background in theatre, he could be the charismatic leader the Greens needed to connect with the people, give exceptional speeches, and excite the masses around progressive politics.
And it's up to all of us, particularly the creatives if you're in the room, to spend the time to think about how do we tell different stories. Because we can spend all the time in spreadsheets, graphs and data. That stuff's important. It's important we're based in facts and science. But if we don't tell the powerful stories, we won't connect. And actually Farage, give him one thing, he tells a powerful story. But his story is hate and division, and they're currently rocketing through the polls. And I believe it is time for the Green Party and a politics of hope, community and solidarity. It's time for that to rocket through the polls too.
Some even referred to him as the left's Nigel Farage, which Zach, even to some degree, agreed with, although he qualified that he has nothing in common with Farage's politics, and he rejected the premise of Ellie and Adrian. In his view, the real risk wasn't boldness, it was stagnation. Zach Polansky argued that the Greens were never meant to be seen as a single-issue climate vehicle. From their earliest days, they championed economic justice. They advocated redistribution, public ownership of key utilities, structural reform of the economy. But that economic radicalism had faded in public perception. The party had become environmentally recognisable, but economically underdefined. In a political moment shaped by cost of living pressures, inequality, and rising populism on the right, Zach Polansky argued that was a strategic mistake. If Reform UK could mobilise discontent through nationalist rhetoric, the Greens needed to mobilise discontent through economic justice and hope. If LGBTQ+ rights and immigrant protections were being dragged into culture war narratives, the Greens needed to be visibly, unapologetically protective. Not quietly progressive, but actively defensive.
Can a woman have a penis?
Yes.
He reframed the party's mission. climate justice is economic justice. Economic justice is social justice. And social justice means standing firmly with migrants and LGBTQ+ communities in the face of what the party views as exclusionary politics. It was not incremental repositioning, it was recalibration, and it was risky. Inside the party, the divide sharpened. The MPs' campaigns emphasised responsibility, parliamentary seriousness, steady expansion. Zach Polansky's campaign emphasised urgency, redistribution, and movement politics. One side warned, implicitly, that overt economic socialism and culture war confrontation could narrow appeal. The other warned that failing to expand beyond the eco-party label would guarantee stagnation. Events grew larger for Zach Polansky. His rhetoric resonated particularly among activists who believed the party needed sharper edges. He built support among Muslim members, particularly those mobilized around issues such as Palestine.
We will not be silent! We will raise the voice of Gaza! We will raise the voice of Palestine! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Momentum became visible, but so did anxiety. Because populism energizes, it also polarizes. Choosing Zach Polansky meant leaning openly into economic socialism. It meant repositioning the Greens as not only environmental, but as a party of redistribution, minority defence, and systemic critique. In Britain's electoral system, that is not a cautious move. It is a bet. Then came the turning point in the campaign, in which people say was the kingmaker. Both Zach and Ellie and Adrian made campaign ads. Ellie and Adrian's was in Parliament and was a call for continuation.
We've come so far since Carla and I became co-leaders, winning a step change in our number of councillors to over 850 seats.
And winning 4 seats here in Parliament, including seats like mine and Adrian's that many thought were unwinnable.
Meanwhile, Zach Polansky's advert was at the cold seaside, a rallying cry against the super rich and the far right, and for the left to find hope in a new voice.
All this time they've been pointing at the small boats, telling us they were the people to blame. But the problem this whole time was the super rich and their yachts. People will say, what does this have to do with the Green Party? Aren't you lot all about trees and nature? Well, yes, defending nature is vital. And this is about human nature. The man who wanted to go on a beach and shoot people, he wasn't born like that. The same system that is poisoning our rivers is poisoning our minds, all of us. And we have to draw the line. We have to change the system, not just so we can survive, but so we can all thrive. That's the Green Party I want to lead. We do not have a moment to waste. Join us. Let's hold that line together.
It was away from the riches of Parliament, but instead in the real world. When ballots closed, the choice was stark. Continuity, and consolidate the eco-party brand and grow carefully and minimise risk. Or transformation, and redefine the party as an economically radical and socially confrontational force.
Starting with the election for the leader of the Green Party of England and Wales, the number of votes cast were as follows. Ellie Chowns and Adrian Ramsey, 3,705. And Zach Polansky, 20,411.
Zach Polansky was crowned new leader of the Green Party. Alongside him came Mothin Ali, a respected Muslim community leader whose mobilisation had been significant, and Rachel, whose role in ending 50 years of Conservative control at Wealdon District Council in Sussex demonstrated grounded organisational capability. The new leadership team rallied the left around hardline, uncompromising principles. Openly socialist in economics, vocal in defence of immigrants and LGBTQ+ rights, confrontational toward what they see as a rising far-right current. It's been 6 months since then, and it's fair to say Zach was vindicated in his approach. The Green Party has gained mass support of the left, exploded its popularity on social media, surpassed 200,000 members, and even won a by-election in Gorton and Denton, a seat historically held by Labour. What's next for the Green Party, you may ask? Well, it's very early to tell, but I think it would be reasonable to assume that come the next general election, the Greens won't be the mini climate change party anymore, but instead will be pushing for victory. If you did enjoy this video and found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing it. Bye for now.